Hi, this is Zach May with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 10th of April. Starting off with the S&P, which seems to be well settled within this rising trend channel that we've had in place since October. Wider than we had before, but still within the parameters of being above the 50-day line 50.90 and potentially heading towards 53.60 in the top of that channel. If we do break down the 50-day line, currently the worst we are expecting at 50.80.90. Otherwise, I suppose the floor of the channel there, 50.30, could be possible, but we're expecting that to rise with the 50-day line. Moving on to the Nasdaq, and here the performance not quite as 10 out of 10 as we've had at the S&P, in the sense that we've had to test the 50-day line for support that's currently around 17,900, but we've so far passed the test, and it looks like we're heading towards the top of that rising trend channel from October at 19,200, potentially by the end of this month. On the downside, if we get back below the 50-day line, 17,900, then not expecting anything worse than the floor of the rising trend channel, 17,500. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Acrivon. Here you can see that the shares have gapped up, breaking or heading higher than our initial target there, the rising trend channel base shown in black, $7.70. Above that, we had a best case scenario target at $12.80, and we're still looking for that while we remain above the 770 zone. Another stock which is moving well at the moment is Audioeye, and here you can see that we've got a rising trend channel there, quite a narrow one, I suppose, but that's been in place since December. Top of the channel there's heading for $13.50. If we get through that, then the next level up could be the old November resistance line projection at $16 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the $10 level and the floor of that channel from the turn of the year. Moving on to Beamr, and here you can see there's the possibility of a revival after the spike and decline that we had back in February. Here we've got the possibility of a rising trend channel that the shares are in, rising 50-day line as well, and an end of day close above that 50-day line around 680 is a potential signal on a move towards $11.50 and the top of that rising trend channel from back in February. Ideally, we stay on the right side of $7 while we try and get to the $11 zone. Moving on to another situation which is looking as though it might deliver further momentum, and here we've got Inogen, and you can see that rising trend channel there from quite some time, actually, from back in August last year. The top of the channel there heading for basically the February resistance zone, so around the $10 mark. And we're looking for that after the end of day close above the 50-day line, $7.55, that we had yesterday. Once again, ideally, we'd like to stay on the right side of the latest handle, i.e. the $7 level. On to one of the best situations of the recent past, and we've covered it quite a few times as well, Iczoom. Here, blowing the doors off on all the initial target there around $16, the next one up to $22, and finally, we could probably look to a target 40 plus on the basis of that old June resistance line projection. That's currently heading towards $44, and we'd be looking for that by the end of this month while we remain on the right side of $30. But obviously, we've come up a long way in a short time, and therefore there is scope for a setback. Laser Photonics is next, and here we had a rising trend channel base. See the shares very kindly obliged and hit the top of that channel there around $3.50. Obviously, they come back since. What we'd like to see is no end of day close back below recent resistance around the $2.30 level, and ideally staying around the right side of $2 ahead of a potential retest of the $3.50 spike that we saw yesterday. Moving on to a stock which is equally exciting at the moment, and here you can see why. Leap Therapeutics. We've got the shares closing above a rising 50-day line near the floor of the rising trend channel from back in July. And that suggests that we're heading towards $5.70 perhaps as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above that 50-day line, currently around the $2.80 level. The next stock is one that we've looked at a couple of times, and back again with Motorsport games. Here, interesting to see a spike up towards the top of that falling trend channel from back in April last year. The level there around $4, ideally we now stay above the 50-day line at $2.30 ahead of a potential retest of the $4 area sometime later this month. Stock which looked good on the last time we looked at it and has continued to look good is MediaCo, and here you can see that there's been consolidation at and above old resistance. The old resistance there, which is what we were looking at, $2.40, and we were expecting a retest of the August resistance there around $6.42, which hopefully we will get again while we remain above $3 at the moment, given that that was yesterday's support zone. On to the last few. First one is Nurix, and here you can see that shares pushing to a new higher ground, rising trend channel there from September, top of the channel there heading towards the $24 or to even $25 level, and we're looking for $25 as soon as the end of next month, especially if we can stay above the floor of the rising trend channel around the $14 mark. Ideally, even $15 would provide support for the shares. The next situation is one that hopefully will be a decent turnaround situation. So that's said on the basis of the bear trap island reversal, so gapping down and then gapping up. I want to see an end of day close through that resistance line there from back in December. That was around $3.20, and another close above that, and we could be looking up to $3.80 hopefully later this month. The key here is probably staying above the 50-day line, just above $3. Finishing off with a stock which is new to us, Syros Pharmaceuticals, and here we've got a rising trend channel, Y1 there from February last year. The shares bouncing off the floor of the channel there after a bear trap, and that is interesting in the sense it suggests that the bears have been caught out, so it's bear trap gap reversal. Initial target here is $6.55, and then looking towards $9 maybe by the end of next month for that stock. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.